A really simple fact that you probably have to understand right now: your business will only ever be as good as the quality of the decisions you make. Not sometimes, not maybe. No, it'll always be like that. And most people don't really get that. I didn't either. That's why I kept making really dumb mistakes. I would waste all this time just overthinking every single move. Should I reach out to that guy? Should I not reach out? What should I be doing? Should I post content? Should I not post content? I would consume a ton of content without actually implementing anything. I would ignore literally implementing the highest leverage systems to get me the results that I actually wanted all this time. And while ignoring the exact thing that was always staring me in the face. And then it hit me, right? Every single click, every bet that a business owner makes, it's all just judgment. And it's very important that you actually understand this one word, judgment. Um, and I think by the end of this, you'll sort of have an understanding of like how I think about it as well. But um, the question isn't whether or not you're working hard or you know um, because I feel like everyone works hard at something, right? Some people are just working hard at things that aren't really that hard to do, or they aren't really that scalable, or they aren't really that costly. Like no one's really willing to pay the money for it, but everyone's constantly working hard at something. So it's never a question of whether you're working hard. It's just, are you making the right calls for your business? Um, and if not, how fast can you reduce the friction between where you are right now and where you actually want to be? And that's the place where we want to go. So by the end of this video, you're going to understand three things. Number one, the entire universe works on this one principle of judgment. Number two, um, uh, literally every business runs on judgment. Like it's based on two things: it's quality of judgment and speed of judgment. And number three, why when you start automating the judgments that you make in your business, you'll actually start seeing real results. Without further ado, I'll just get into it. So I grew up in a family that was like relatively Christian, and when I say relatively Christian, I mean my mom hosted church events every single Sunday, and she would stand at the front and she would like talk to people about God and whatever, and I would just watch from like the back. And like whenever there was like a singing session, we would all like stand up and like start singing and everything. It was an interesting experience. I mean, the one thing that's really powerful about churches more than anything is the fact that you have like this community of people who genuinely care about this one topic, and they don't really care about anything else. They just care about this one topic that's like really, really important to them. Um, Maybe that's part of the reason why I kind of like the concept of communities and why I've been involved in so many over time, and why I started my own, which is just to solve my own problems. But yeah, like it's always just one problem that a ton of people are just solving. A ton of people are trying to solve the problem. At least in church, the problem was the fact that they were all stuck in this human body, in this human life, and they want to get as close to God as possible. So they do that through spiritual awakening, through singing, through introspection, through reading the Bible and things like that. Anyway, let's stop talking about the Bible. So the idea is that this is one verse from the Bible, is that judge not lest ye be judged. And I used to think that that meant do not judge people. And to an extent, that was like the most simple interpretation I feel like anyone could come up with. It's like, if you judge people, then you're not gonna. How would you feel if you got judged? Like, don't judge people. Um, but I recently came up on a different definition that's actually resonating with me even more than the previous one. It's the fact that you are never actually judging other people. And the reason behind that is because any representation of reality is always just based on internal perception, internal like models of reality. What that means is perception is reality. So when someone is judging someone else, they can't judge someone else without that person sticking out to them internally in some way. So meaning that whatever traits you see in other people are traits that you see in yourself, and when you judge them in other people, then you're judging them in yourself as well. We're always constantly making self judgments. Um, which is it's kind of a crazy thing. It's like I remember judging so many people in my life, and one thing I tell myself these days is to like not judge people, because the more I don't judge people, the more I forgive myself as well for like the littlest things that I do. And the more I try to better myself as well, because I understand that I can be better, and that also makes me understand that other people can be better as well. But every single time that I belittle someone else's choices, I was literally just condemning my own actions, my own values, what I stood for. I would ask myself, I would look at people and like who weren't actually building businesses. I would like, why the hell aren't they building a business? This is literally like the perfect time to do something like that. The like the tools haven't been easier to use. You don't have to learn to code to get a website. You don't have to learn like a million tools. You can just learn one tool that's integrated with a million different systems. Um, why are they wasting time? Why aren't they doing this? Meanwhile, I was the one who was wasting time. Meanwhile, I was the one who was procrastinating on doing outreach, on doing this and that. I was literally just ruminating, and I wasn't making that much progress. But I would always look outside of myself for problems that I had inside, which was kind of funny. But like this brings us back to the topic, right? It's like you only notice the flaws in others when they exist in you, and perception is like a mirror. At least reality is a mirror. It always shows you what is already inside you or what you want to see. So we have this thing called the reticular activation system, which I guess you could say it'll always like show us exactly what we want to see as well. We're literally hyper optimized uh, based on our attention, and judgment, yeah, has a tendency of reflecting to us what we want to see. And this goes even deeper than that, because at the quantum level, you could say that everything is like in constant flux. We have these particles that are in, we can't even call them particles because they're in probable states. So it could probably be in this position or that position based on its momentum, or spin, or whatever. Um, we can only represent them as probability spaces because they don't actually exist as one point. Like if we remove the concept of, one point, they don't actually exist at one point, which is kind of insane. But whenever reality renders, so like basically it renders whenever we take a measurement, and by definition, measurements are nothing more than judgments. So whenever we judge, or whenever reality judges things into existence, like you right now, you're watching your screen, you're judging me, right? The fact that I exist on this screen right now, that is a judgment. Whenever reality renders like that, a judgment is made, right? So it's like judgment, judgment, judgment. So that's literally how the entire universe works. It's basically just judgments over time. This atom here, that electron there, everything is just judgment. Um, and yeah, your basically the idea is very simple, right? Your universe is constantly judging you. It's literally judging your form into being. Your identity, like who you think you are, is literally being judged into being, predicated on the judgments you make of yourself, so of your thoughts and the quality of your thoughts and feelings. And like that's basically the idea is very simple, right? Judgment isn't actually an optional thing. It's something that's like, it's like the fundamental thing in like that operates throughout our entire universe. Um, so now that we understand this much, let's now broaden this. Okay, we understand that judgment is like the fundamental basis. Let's broaden it a bit more, and I guess we could say something else here. It's like business is nothing more than judgment at scale. So you literally only have two currencies in life, and that's time and energy, right? I would say literally everything in the universe is trying to optimize for these two things. You could see that in like based on the law of least action, right? If you have a particle here and it wants like at point A and wants to go to point B, It could take all these different paths to point B, but it will always choose the most straight line path, the most straightforward path. And this is just like, it's just, the universal optimization kind of thing. It's the law of least action. Um, what that means is that I feel like even like you as a human, like all you really have is time and energy. You're born on this earth, and as much as you could get other things like money and whatever, the only two things that are constantly being perished, like you're constantly losing them as much as you can still gain them. They're constantly just leaving you, unlike money that you can like save and compound over time. Um, your time and your energy are constantly leaving you. So if there's anything that you should be optimizing for relative to business and like how you should be applying your time and your energy in your business, then it's your speed of judgment and your quality of judgment. So what that means, so imagine two guys doing cold outreach, right? Neither are growing, and you ask them why, and then they'll give you like some excuses. So this one guy is like, oh no, I reply to them, but they don't reply back. Meanwhile, he's just taking too long to reply. Like his speed to lead is like way too fucking slow. The other guy is like, oh yeah, I keep sourcing my leads, but like when I reach out to them, I don't even get any replies back. Meanwhile, he's just getting the wrong leads. Like they're not even interested in his service. Both fail not because of the effort they put in, but because they're not spending their time and energy in places where they would be most useful. They just have poor judgment, right? And that's basically the idea. Is like um, business growth or business effects are like downstream consequences of good judgment, basically. Um, Everything is just based on judgment. So some people bet on platforms and then they flop. Like some people going big on what was that new social network that was based on sound, like having podcasts or whatever. Um, yeah, exactly. That's the whole point. No one even knows the name because it just flopped. But it was really big for like a moment. And that's basically the idea. It's like some people will bet on platforms and those will flop. Other people will bet on like really simple outreach methods like cold DMs, things that seem so out of fashion. But you start sending a few and then you realize, holy shit, why the fuck am I getting this much traction? Like all you need is just a no-brainer offer. Really, that's all you really need. Just a no-brainer offer that no one would say no to, especially if they actually read it and you have enough social proof on your profile. But that's a totally different point. Um, the idea here is that this is not luck; it's positioning, right? If we were living in a universe where the definition of luck was to have an apple fall on your head, then the luckiest people in that universe would be people who stand right underneath an apple tree. It's not luck, it's positioning. Positioning is uh, the realest thing, and it's even realer in real life because at the end of the day, how the hell do you position yourself without knowing enough information, right? Like, especially in business, everyone will tell you, oh, this is the best business method, oh, that's the best business method. Um, but which one is it? Like, there's so much noise. So that's exactly where really good decision making comes in as well. Is like you have all of this noisy data coming at you. How do you interpret those signals and then make bets on those signals and then sort of position yourself so that whether they land in a good spot or not, you'll be okay. How do you do that, right? And some people might say, well, if you want to make better bets, then you probably need better data. But remember what we said, right? Time and energy. If you want better data, then you have to sacrifice something. You're gonna either sacrifice your time, which is like just to refine that data, or you're going to sacrifice your energy just to refine that data, or you're going to sacrifice some minor resource like money or whatever just to get better data. Get insights from like industry experts and things like that. But that's basically why businesses hire talented people, right? Just so that they could don't have to spend more time solving problems. That's why they hire more people, or at least they hire more useful people, just so that they don't have to spend more money, or like, or just they're just optimizing for speed and quality at the end of the day, right? And I think one thing that's like very recently going bigger and bigger is the fact that they are now spending more on. They're trying to build automated systems just so that they could optimize for leverage. So everyone is just trying to position themselves perfectly for this new age of AI. Everyone is just trying to get hit by that same apple that I'm talking about. And now the principle is very simple. If you want to win in this age, you also probably want to get hit by the apple. You want to position yourself in a way where you just don't have to think too much about whether or not you win. The only thing you have to optimize for is how much. Um, and that is basically by injecting cognition into your systems. So giving your systems the ability to think for themselves. You let them make high quality decisions at faster speeds, at lower costs than uh, your competitors, and you'll start seeing real results. Remember how I spoke about businesses are hiring talented people, like Meta hiring all those senior AI engineers. Um, you probably might not be able to hire anyone like that, but you could definitely train like a set of custom GPTs that could act like research agents that could work together to create work of almost that caliber, like almost PhD level. And you'd be able to spend less than 100 million a year for sure, because that's exactly what Mark Zuckerberg is spending on those guys. Um, you don't have to, like, the systems you build, not only can they be cheap, but they can operate at really, really high quality as well. And their speed of decision making will be much quicker than a human speed of decision making every single time. Which means that the leverage potential that you get is like that much bigger. So like you still have like all these finance teams drowning in spreadsheets, and people could like literally just start automating insights. Like I know there's a bunch of dashboard integrations here and there, but like even not just dashboards, but like just the combating the data silo problem is like a real issue that a lot of businesses aren't really tackling well enough. Like all their data is just like stranded here in some CRM or here in some system or whatever. And integrating all of those is just such a hassle that they don't even know what to do. Um, if you could integrate them and then have that system sort of drag out insights, like no brainer methods. Even more important, like imagine some kind of e-com, right? And I think of this example because I used to be in e-com as well. Um, so instead of like, because what's very famous in like e-com right now is having speed to lead systems. So imagine you could track real time user data. So you track how a user is like operating on your website, and then based on how quickly they go to the pricing page or everything they did to get there, you change the price like dynamically. So say if they were like really quick, then you make the price higher because that shows intent. If the price would be like lower or maybe like a discount if they like really really sluggish or they read something or they like scrolled up and down or whatever. Um, Imagine changing your website copy dynamically, um, just to optimize for this new age of SEO that we're moving into, which is powered by AI, right? You literally always have evergreen content on your website, and your website will always rank high. Um, I think there's a lot that there's a lot of people who might not understand the potential for this type of technology, but I do because I've been in it for almost a year now, and I feel like when I look back at my decision, like in all this time, I honestly regret how slow I was moving, because this it was just moving so quickly, and I wish I had taken, that much. Like I wish I had taken much quicker sort of gaps. in movements. But yeah, just to finish off, I guess the one thing I could possibly say is like, um, since the universe is constantly operating at this, if the most fundamental aspect of the universe is judgment, um, and we're all of the universe, then why don't we just be like the universe? You know, make the most optimal judgments at all times, and then start automating them, just like the universe automates least action. Um, I think the entire universe is a massive automation. Um, I think it's very beautiful, and that's why I like being a part of it. And I hope you do too. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you when I see you.